What is up, Film Geeks? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to the channel. Ty West MaXXXine hits theaters this weekend, making it the third and final movie in the X Trilogy. So today we're ranking all three movies in that X Trilogy from my least favorite to my favorite. Jump your way down below in the comment section. What is your favorite movie from the Ty West Trilogy? Honestly, one of the best modern horror trilogies we have gotten in a very, very long time. Have you seen MaXXXine? What did you think of it? Let me know down below. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Let's hop into this. So starting this list off at number 3 in last place is going to be Pearl. This is the prequel to X about the character of Pearl, who was very, very old in the movie X, and Mia Goth plays Pearl in this movie as well. About just trying to go out and make it to be a star, kind of what MaXXXine goes to do in X, and it all starts with this movie here, Pearl. Pearl just wasn't really for me. I found it at times just to be very weird and very distasteful. It was very, very slow. Like all of these movies are a little bit slower, but Pearl came to a halt several times, and it was based off a character that I didn't like whatsoever, and the fact that I knew who she is and what she did in the movie X made me just not like her that much more throughout this one. I found her to be kind of annoying throughout this film, but on the contrary, you have some pretty gnarly kills throughout this one. You have a little love story in there with David Cornsweet, and that worked to its advantage. She's going out to basically watch these talkies, these films with very little audio in them, and they capture that vibe very well, and that's what I want to compliment Ty West with. He captures whatever era and vibe he's trying to create. He captures that perfectly, and he does such a good job with the camera and what he can do. And Mia Goth is absolutely fantastic in this movie, as she is this entire trilogy. The monologue at the end, well, at times kind of cringy, but it's also like, this is actually very, very good, and she smiles at the camera forever and ever and ever and ever, and it's just kind of terrifying. At the end of the day, I enjoy certain parts about this movie, but other parts about this movie make me never really want to go back and rewatch it, and it's my least favorite of the three. At number 2 is going to be MaXXXine. This was a huge step up from Pearl, in my opinion. A movie that just hooks you from the start. MaXXXine makes her way to Hollywood. She's the only one to survive X, so she goes out and she's trying to be a star while still in the adult film industry, but trying to make it in the big league of movies, trying to star in The Puritan too. You get the set, get behind MaXXXine, you're on this roller coaster story, all the while the Night Stalker is on the loose, and there's a private investigator in Kevin Bacon going around following MaXXXine, trying to bring back her past and basically how she can't escape it. The cast in this one as well, absolutely fantastic. I'm not exactly sure how Ty West get everyone to go on with these movies, but the cast are great. You have Kevin Bacon, Giancarlo Esposito, you have Halsey, you have Lily Collins. You just have a cast that is tour de force. It is so good. Mia Goth in this one is a very likable character, someone you can easily get behind. She's trying to basically forget everything she left behind in X and go out and live her life. You get behind this character. It's a very slow burn, but I was so invested for the first 2 acts of this movie. You're invested in her. You're invested in what she's trying to accomplish. You see how everything that happened in X is still affecting her throughout this film. So there's so much that Ty West creates with this, like putting Pearl in a window of an old scary house. He just creates these little kind of scary shots, and he does it so greatly. And certain shots throughout this movie where you just want to applaud because the cinematography and shot selection is perfection. But then you get around to that third act. And when you get to that third act, it doesn't just go over the top. It goes way over the top. It is absolutely absurd. There's a whole shoot-off, and the way they have this big twist, to me, it didn't really pack that much of a punch. I literally said, who is that? So the twist they kind of had at the end for the Night Stalker, who is it going to be? Definitely did not hit, I think, like the way they wanted it to hit, and also how absurd it gets. It gets like the full-on shootout, and I was like, what's going on? How did we get to this point? That's the kind of question I had when going to the third act. But leading up to that, it's just so intense. It's so engrossing. You were so captured in this. Again, Ty West just captures this vibe so well. And there's a certain scene in the beginning of the movie where she smashed the dude's head. Downstairs head. It was just absolutely brutal. My entire theater jumped. My wife looked at me like, are you kidding? I was like, no, that really just happened. Man, whew, hurt me just watching it. But at number 1 is going to be X. When I first saw this movie, I absolutely loved it. The second time I watched this movie, I think I just wasn't in the right headspace, in the right mindset, because I didn't love it all that much. It went down from like a 5 to a 3.5 out of 5. And then I watched it again, and I said, you know what, it's like a solid 4.25 out of 5. And that's what I'm sticking with this one. A slower burn with a very good cast. I would say a cast of everyone's really up and coming in this one. You have Jenna Ortega in there as well. And they're going to shoot an adult film at an Airbnb before Airbnb was ever a thing, at this farm where Pearl happens to be there. And does she take a liking to Mia Goth MaXXXine because she used to look just like her, because it is her. but she used to look just like her. But the way they captured the intensity of this, where you're always just hinting at something's going to happen, whether it's an alligator, whether it's the creepy old man, whether it's Pearl herself, there's just an eerie vibe throughout this movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat. They're doing the adult film stuff, and then all of a sudden, people start getting taken out, and you have some brutal kills throughout this one. You know there's going to be a kill with an alligator, you know there's going to be a kill with the old man, but what you don't know is who's going to survive, who's going to make it out of this, who's going to have that X factor, and well, obviously, there's only one person who had the X Factor, and that is MaXXXine. And they just do a great job with that. By the time you get to that third act, it is so intense. You're just screaming, go, 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 go. These people are not the greatest of people, but you are still rooting for them to make it out at the end of the day. And one of them does. And I think it was a very solid movie for this franchise. X, I thoroughly enjoy. One of my favorite A24 horror movies. It is my favorite of Ty West's X Trilogy. That's going to do it for my X Trilogy ranking. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and rankings down below in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Thank you guys for watching and for being here. And I'll see you on the next one.